Well, I've been meaning to get to this for quite some time now. So this is the VFD mount for the belt grinder. Dave wants to take a belt grinder, at least one, two, whatever it can be, the Datsun show, this weekend. So I'll see if I can get this finished, and I'd like to just get it whipped out of the way here real quick and done. So basically, this is a CAD print. I've got a 13 by 19 printer, so I can print one-to-one sizes on some of these slightly bigger pieces that wouldn't quite fit on a 8.5 by 11. And wonderful PGE had a big, more or less brownout the other day. It didn't last but a couple of minutes, but it bounced enough that it killed my favorite Canon printer. So I still got to deal with that. And I'm going to quit talking because there's no point in you guys watching all this. Basically, I'm going to cut it out. Well, let's just cut it out here real quick. I'm going to use it as my template. I'll have to double check the holes and stuff like that against the VFD and make sure that they do in fact line up. I'm not too worried about this being perfect, but I would like it to be fairly close, just so that way it proves fit and everything like that with the so I could get them laser cut. And originally I was thinking about having them cut in aluminum, laser cut in aluminum, but you know, that about triples the price. So they'll probably just be done in 3/8 steel like the rest of it. It'll still be easy enough for a customer or whoever to drill whatever pattern they need. So, alright, well, I decided to put it here in the middle, just use a nice piece of aluminum. I'm going to leave a little bit on both ends there. I can always sand it or grind it off or whatever. So let's get a quick tracing. And at least with the Sharpie, if you hold the paper down and you run the Sharpie light enough, it will track on the edge of the paper and give you a pretty clean tracing. So I'm just going to rough cut it out, and then I'll probably take the mill and clean up a couple of the longer sides just to make it a little more appealing to the eye. I may cut them with a bandsaw and then grind them down with the belt sander too. Not quite sure yet, but I shut off the coolant pump, and now I'll hand cut some of this and see what happens. No, I didn't speed that last part up. I just put my knee on the saw so it couldn't walk away, and then I just pushed really hard. That's all there was to that. Can't clean it up on a grinder, it'll ruin the stone. So belt sander, files, that kind of stuff, it's about the only thing to use. So belt grinder it is. You can see I finished this up just a little bit ago. These holes up here served no purpose originally. I just measured wrong from here to here. It was supposed to be 5.51, and I went 4.5. So anyway, I had to put it back in and redrill them. Well, it turns out that these two holes aren't used on this side because the cross corner mounts are from here to here. So I went ahead and tapped these for 1/4 and shortened some little some Allen bolts basically that'll go in the back without poking through. I'm going to put some cable ties, whatever you want to call them, on there so that when this cable, you know, when this mounts up there, I can secure that to the back there, and that way it won't just be flopping around from that. Now, what I wanted to show here was this is one single phase in, okay? 120 coming in, but it puts out 2-phase, 3-phase 220, okay? And this is a 3-phase 208 motor and that stuff. So it's okay for me to use this extension cord coming in, okay? We went over that before with the amps and all that kind of stuff in a previous video for the build and that. But I used part of the extension cord from there to the motor, okay, because that's all I had at the time. And I had to run a separate ground wire, okay, because there's 3 different phases going through here. With no ground, that wouldn't be good. So I ran a separate ground wire down to the ground lug here. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to eliminate the extension cord wire, and I picked this up probably at Home Depot, same time I picked up some of the other stuff. But what this is this is a 14-4, okay? There's actually 4 conductors in there. So I'll have my 3 phases and my ground in the one cable, okay? So I won't have to run the extra one. So that's what I'm working on wiring up right now, and I'll put it, yeah, you can see I don't have the cover on it, and the cable's all, that'll all get bunched up in there. I'll put a strain relief clamp on the bottom side there, you know, one of these, and do that kind of stuff. And then once it's ready, done with the 3-phase and that stuff, I'll probably pull this motor off and set up the wiring and that stuff for the single-phase 110 Harbor Freight motor. And that way the wiring's done for both of them. I'm probably not going to use either one. This is probably going to end up on my mill, because I'd really like to have variable speed on my mill. On the grinder, you know, I just don't have a big a need for variable speed on the grinder. So anyway.